All right, now, in the early example, uh, we had the synthetic division example earlier. It was pretty straightforward. I got two videos. One's the introduction. Last one was finding K, right? With a given factor. And we said that when we have a factor, we do the division and the remainder should be 0. Okay. And if you watch the introduction to synthetic division, I also had a little bonus content about the synthetic substitution, right? Also knowing that that's the remainder, right? Okay. So we're going to use that here, actually. So if you look at this question, it says use synthetic division to find K so that f of -2 is equal to 4. Okay. So before we go too far, that's a remainder. Okay. That's a remainder. Now, if you forgot, I can just go back to the example right here. The question that I posed at the end of the introduction to synthetic division video was that if I put in -2, I actually get -9. And if you look at the synthetic division, that -9 appeared as a remainder. So they magically, well, yeah, I would say magically, yeah. They magically matched up. So that's how I also introduced the term synthetic substitution as an alternative of substitution so that you don't have to worry about big numbers. Okay, it's really nice and easy. I was an advocate for just going to the old school ways. You don't have to memorize stuff. But then but you can see you can just see the amount of hassle you have to go through with this kind of substitution. And then if you do synthetic division, it's just lovely. All right, so that's a remainder. All right, so we have a curveball. I'm not sure if you see it yet. So we have x to the fourth kx cubed. Ooh, we have a missing x squared term. So make sure you take care of this curveball right here. Okay, so again, we will set up our coefficients, and if it's a 0, please do make a 0 over here. Okay, so we are going to put -2 over here. So this is the setup. Okay, again, let me go ahead and write this here. Okay, this polynomial. So officially, it's going to be like x to the fourth plus kx cubed plus 0x squared minus x plus k. Okay, so we've got to figure out what k is, and it's going to be a little bit lengthy, but it's okay. It's all right. And at the end, we have a remainder, and our remainder is going to be equal to 4. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. Bring down the first number, then 1 times -2, it's -2, and they're going to add together. So k minus 2, all right? K minus 2. K minus 2 times -2, you have -2k plus 4. And adding 0, nothing's going to happen. So minus 2k plus 4. Now, I hope you can start seeing what's the challenge right here is that this is a negative, and you have a binomial, and there's a negative right there. So make sure that you're keeping track of the sign, okay? So one thing I would say is just be careful. Just be careful. All right, so go ahead and you multiply by -2 again. So you have 4k minus 8, and then you add them together. So 4k minus 9, and then times -2. So -8k plus 18, and then you add them again. So you have -7k plus 18, okay? So that's what we have here. And then we will subtract 18 on both sides. I think the answer is pretty obvious that k is equal to 2. Okay? So hard? No. I won't consider this as hard. Lengthy? Somewhat. Not really, but writing. Error prone? So definitely. Yeah. I confess that when I was doing this last year in class, I made a few mistakes. Yeah, so it's very error prone. So please make sure that you are sparing enough time for yourself to carefully, okay, to carefully walk through every single step along the way. Now, here's the thing though. Do you think the K would be a fraction? I mean, it could be. So if it turns out to be a fraction, should you be scared? One thing about math, pre-cal, calculus is that discriminate no numbers. Okay, do not discriminate any numbers because of its look. All right, just because it's a fraction doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's more important that you observe, you scrutinize your earlier steps, and spot any possible mistakes. And if you see no mistake at all, then the fraction is a fraction. So it's okay. All right. So don't feel bad if you happen to see a fraction. It's all good. It's all good. Okay. No big deal. No biggie. Okay. So that's it. That's it for synthetic. Okay. So make sure you look at the other videos that I posted previously. Yeah. So enjoy the polynomial graphing process, okay, in the near future.